This is a response video to Ryan Moody where he talked about intangibles in simulation video football games. I'm SubReyes94. That are not quantifiable detract from gameplay. What I mean by that are the addition of swagger or toughness, team chemistry, or heart to a simulation video game basically become random number generators. They're not deterministic. I can't tell how they're going to affect my gameplay because I don't know how to measure heart. I don't know how to say what toughness is going to do. I think in addition, when you look at the ratings, and those are the ratings you're seeing streaming across from Madden 10, current video games, including Backbreaker, have a commonality that detracts from scouting and trading and franchise play especially, and that is the increasing scale of goodness based on numerical rating. Every single one of the ratings you just saw scroll across the screen, a 90 is better than a 70. The player who is at 90 is always better than the player that's at 70 in all cases and in all situations. I believe what would move simulation football to the next level of realism is the incorporation of risk-taking as a numerical attribute. And the major reason for this is the ability of wavering scale. As a person with software development experience, I want something that is quantifiable, something I can measure, something I can test and know deterministically, which basically means looking at the inputs, I can tell what the output's going to be, rather than a random number generator. I think Risk covers that. When you look at people like Brett Favre, when you look at people like Joe Montana and Steve Young, what you see are people who take risks. I think that's what differentiates them. However, the amount of risk you take will really determine how well you do based on your other abilities. If you look at someone like Brett Favre playing for the Packers, which is what you're looking at right now, him throwing a bunch of interceptions, basically people have said that as great as his arm was and great as he was, he took too many risks, and that's what cost him games and cost him championships. Joe Montana was amazing at managing risk. When you look at the drive, you'll see that he never throws into double coverage in that incredible drive against Cincinnati Bengals. That is management of risk. He moves around in the pocket, even against the Dallas Cowboys and the catch. He's not throwing into double coverage. He's using his agility, making moves to use his other abilities, but especially his risk-taking ability to minimize risk. Joe Montana did not take as many risks as Brett Favre. Part of it may be because he had a better arm, or he had better receivers, or whatever the case may be, a better line. But it's that type of deterministic situation in which you can now pick a quarterback, or pick a wide receiver, or pick a cornerback based on risk, and know the difference between a 95 and a 90 is that 95 will take more risks and a 90 will take less risks. And what you really have to do is find a happy medium based on the position and based on the other players around you, rather than just picking the guy with the highest number. You know, your defense may be such that a cornerback with a 95 is exactly what you need to be an island and to be able to take on those wide receivers. And your safety better be a 45 or a 75 who takes minimal risks because he's going to be the last line of defense because of the way your corners play. That's team chemistry. That's coordinating and saying, I don't need a risk taker. I need someone who can stand there and make sure he makes the tackle. It's less barge tackles and more wrap-up tackles. Those are the things that are quantifiable. And if someone goes in with an 87 based on several different factors, you can play it so that you know what a risk taker is going to do if he's an 85 or an 80, which is very important when you're doing software development and doing software level testing. The other thing is risk is quantifiable. Risk is measured. It's measured in the space program. It's measured fiduciary. It's measured in insurance. People have staked their lives on their ability to quantify risk. And the same goes for in the psychological realm of whether or not a player takes risks. There's basically 4 factors that affect it. It's the possibility of gain, the possibility of loss, the amount of gain, and the amount of loss that can happen. Those are the 4 inputs. It's not a lot. It's something that can be done on current generation software for 22 players on the field. And really all you're doing is playing with, based on those values, will that defensive back go bite on an out pattern when they have a 4-point lead because he wants the interception, or will he let it go? When you look at guys like Steve Young and Joe Montana and Brett Favre and the new Brett Favre, who threw 7 interceptions last year instead of 7 in a game or whatever he did, I think that's the difference. And I think that is why I disagree with using intangibles. Make simulation about things that are measurable. Make simulation things that are quantifiable. And more importantly, make it fun again by putting in something where you're looking at one factor to determine your chemistry instead of swagger and toughness and things you can't even define. Thanks.